Hello, everyone. Teacher Teresa here from VIP Kid and Go Kid and OutSchool and now also Varsity Tutor. I was going to add Bling ABC, and in fact, I was hired by them at a much higher pay rate than VIP Kid is paying me, but I really didn't like the platform. Way too many buttons, way too much complication, and I just didn't want to deal with all that stuff. It made me feel more stressed than it did happy, and VIP Kid makes me happy, and the platform is streamlined and easy to use, and I really like that. And also, Bling ABC requires you to get up an hour before your first class of the day to check in. I don't need to be babysat, and so that was definitely not something I wanted. Some teachers say they do it from sitting in their bed, but then you still have to set an alarm to go off at 3 for a 4 a.m. class. No, thank you. You're not paying me to get up at 3 a.m., and I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. just to check in. So, no, Bling ABC wasn't right for me. VIP Kid is right for me. And I still wanted to do something about that pay cut that I'm facing with VIP Kid, as many of you are. And so I gave Varsity Tutor a try. And within a week of signing up with them, my schedule's full. I kind of expected it to take a while to build students, but they send opportunities for you to pick and choose your students from so frequently. And it made it very easy to get my schedule booked. I do have one open spot on Saturdays at 9 a.m., which I just opened last week to see if I could fill that spot that we no longer get because of the Beijing time new law. So that's my only spot that did not fill of the spots that I requested or that I opened and made available. So everything else is full. And what I really like is you set the schedule. Very unlike VIP Kid, it's you choosing where to place your students for booking. They give you the contact information for your students too, so you can call and talk to their parents. What a crazy concept, right? Being able to communicate with your students' families. So nice. You get their email addresses and their phone numbers directly from the company. Now, I did have one father send me an email that he apologized that the phone number that was on his account was wrong because I tried to call it and it rang once and then it shut off and it acted kind of more like a fax machine than a phone number. So I think he accidentally put in his fax number. But I have his correct number now. So that was the only glitch that I had with getting contact information for my students since I started at Varsity. I've been there 2 weeks now. So I've taught 2 weeks of classes and I really do love it. There is the downside because it's a tutoring platform. They provide resources, but they don't plan the lessons. So you have to plan your lessons. But I'm spending maybe 10 to 15 minutes lesson planning. So it's not like astronomical amount of time. So it is more time intensive than VIP Kid, where you literally do no prep. I do have to do some. What I do also think that the two go very well together because if you do the lower elementary, you have a great number of resources already around you from the props that you've gathered, from the books that you read to your students to easily teach those lower levels. You're homeschooling American kids, and I have had a few international students, but it's very, very few. Most of my students have been from uh, Central Time and Pacific Time because I can only teach in the evenings, and so for them that's late afternoon. So that works out well for me too. Um, yes, I also still have some classes on OutSchool, but OutSchool didn't work out as well for me as I would have liked because I can't work the OutSchool peak time. Everybody knows that most of them are homeschoolers or now virtual school students who are taking extra classes during the day, and I can't teach during the day. I can only teach in the evenings. So I was only picking up a student or two in each of the classes that I was teaching, and it really wasn't worth it. The only thing that was nice about it is when I teach an OutSchool class, instead of spending that money, it just automatically I reinvest it into my son so that he can take OutSchool classes from other teachers. So basically I'm trading time. So that's the way I look at OutSchool now. It's not a job anymore. OutSchool is a timeshare for me. It's more like I'm treating it like a co-op if anybody does homeschooling. I have my own OutSchool co-op instead of, oh, I'm shaking the computer, sorry. I have an OutSchool co-op now instead of making money on OutSchool. I'm literally making nothing because every single penny I make just goes back into my son, which means he gets gym classes because that's something that I'm not that great at creating at home. I'm not a gym teacher. I am a soldier. I did a lot of PT for many years, but teaching it to a kid, not something I'm so good at. I'm willing to stay here and say I am not a gym teacher. He was not, it wasn't going well. But he's much happier now because the outschool gym classes are a perfect fit for him. So to get those classes where mommy works, I do a few English classes here and there, and I read to kids online. He comes to my story hour sometimes too, so my son will be in those classes a lot. My daughter, she's only sat in for a few. She's really still young. She's 3. So she's not that interested in staring at mommy on the screen. She'd rather come into my classroom, which just becomes a distraction. So we've been putting my son, when he is in class with me, on out in the RV so that she doesn't even know he's there, because it's not good. But anyway, that's an update on where I am and what I'm doing. And if you have any questions about Varsity Tutor and how it can fit in with your VIP kid schedule, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to help you out. Bye.